We used to have this cocktail with beautiful mirror. It was inspired by Dorian Gray. It was very like a bizarre story. And when we made the first prototype, we realized it was too wide for the waitresses to be actually carefully able to carry it to the table. So we had to make it smaller. Without the girls being involved in the creative process, we would come up with a monster serve, which would be so difficult to serve. We must not forget about things like cost calculations. We need to check whether we will be actually able to get the product for the duration of the period of the serving. All of these elements and the logistics is very important, because once we execute it, we only have to look at the ways of improving it. And if it's not broken, don't fix it, that's wrong. If it's not broken, make it better. Everything can be made better. I've been in my place for 8 years, and every week we find things of which can be done better. And that's very important. You should never stop. You should never rest on your laurels. Because the most important, the most successful people, they are great at reinventing themselves. It's like a Nike. Every month, you need to come up with the shoes which make you run faster. And now the question goes, is it really important to be the first? Or is it possible to be first? Is it possible to be original? Who invented a whiskey smash? Most of the people will answer you that whiskey smash was invented by De Groff. But we all know that already Jerry Thomas lists a very different version of a whiskey smash in 1862. What De Groff did when he opened the Rainbow Rooms in the 90s, he added an element, the citrus, which wasn't originally in there, and he created a new take. And it wasn't until 2008 where a young bartender from Germany called Jörg Meyer created the gin buzzer smash, opting for gin instead of whiskey and swapping the mint for buzzer. So, we imagine now we are all on the plane and we fly to South America, right? And we go to the forest, and each of you, I don't know, it's 100 of us here, is going to find a different herb. What does it mean to us? Well, it means that right now, with all the 100 different herbs, we can create 100 new cocktails and 100 new different smashes. But it wouldn't be without Meyer, without De Groff, and without Jerry Thomas, because we wouldn't be able to conceptualize it. So it's not important to be the first, but always, anything you do, you need to conceptualize it. Okay, next drink. Next drink, okay, I used to date this beautiful French-Moroccan girl, and as a proper bartender, I said I should make her a drink. So I made a drink inspired by Moroccan ingredients. And I blended some vodka with dry sherry since it's so close to Spain, but the Moorish flavors are really yet to come. I added some citrus, patchouli cordial, coriander, so typical for the Moroccan cooking, and we're going to float it with argan oil. Again, thinking of the glass, thinking of Arabic culture, I want something very bling-bling. I want something shiny. I want an amber glass. We're going to serve it straight up. And as a finishing touch for the aroma, since we're talking all the senses, I'm going to add 3 drops of argan oil. Here you go. One, two, three. You have samples coming out? Cheers. No, llamas, llamas, llamas. So talking about vessels, or talking about design in general, I think the most important thing is always to define the look and feel. Because people, before they taste things, they see them, they smell them. I believe that a great design has actually less. Less is always more. If it's possible to take something out, cut it. Coco Chanel, when she was giving advice to the young girls, she always used to tell them, in the morning, when you dress up, stand in front of the mirror and then take one thing out. And after you've taken it out, it's perfect. I think, whoa, can we go back? Sexy boys, can we go back? Fantastic. I think it's important for design to be timeless, because especially in our industry, things get really worn out really easily. I believe that design should be understandable for people. It shouldn't be complicated. It's all about practicality at the end of the day. And what we need to realize is that everything needs to be doable and viable. Personally, myself, I often come with ideas which are so expensive to execute or so difficult to do that we actually have to put them on the side and maybe return to them years after that. The way how we work is that we come with an issue, because there's no point to be designing something which already exists. If something exists, I'm just going to go and I'll buy it. But if I come across an issue where I don't know where I can get it, or it simply doesn't exist, that's the moment where we need to go out, sit down, and say, okay, how can we sort this? How can we make it happen? And in this case, I will demonstrate it on an example of combining vapor and the liquid, which is a thing we came across some 2 years ago. We came across a device called a WAF, which was nothing else than a fogger. And we said, okay, how can we combine a liquid and a vapor in the same glass? So we started to sketch. You can guess which one is Simon and which one is myself. But then there's the moment where we need to really bring the design team on board and try to give it some sort of shape. Once we have that 3D animation, we need to turn the things into a technical drawing so the glass factory can actually understand what we want. And once we have it, we obviously then finish up with a cocktail. So each of these is hand-blown. This one is filled with the vapor. Over here, we put the liquid, and that's how you enjoy it. Because I love to think that providing experience at Artesian should be always something special. It should be always something different. Oh, I'm going crazy here. So the design, how much we got? Oh, can we go back? Perfect. Oh, great. So design, in my eyes, is always innovative, yet it is practical, because design is a kind of a funny word. Many people assume that design is the way how things look, but if you dig a little deeper, it's really about how they work. The beauty of a smartphone is not that it has a stainless steel case. The real beauty of a smartphone is all the applications. Things which you can download on the phone, it's all about what you can do with it. So if I look at the bar, I say, is this comfortable for people to sit at? Is this perfect environment for my bartenders to work? Or are they going to develop a back strain? We always seek functionality behind design. I think design should be clean and flawless, and it should be operational. And it's time for the next drink. So Simone and myself, actually the whole team, has been always fascinated with chefs and the way how they work. Because as a chef, I work in 3D. I work with probably bigger range of textures. I work with something which can be visually very teasing, very stunning, but also things which change as we enjoy them. So we said we should come up with a glass which is going to be visually equally stunning as some of the amazing dishes, but also which will allow us to change the cocktail as the people enjoy it. And we came up with this. So basically this is an infusion vessel where the base is the same, yet the botanicals change as we go throughout the seasons. It's a very simple combination of vodka, dry sherry, acqua di cedro from Italy, some citric, what is not working? Citric acid solution, and a bit of a soda. So think light and refreshing. As you learn, I premix everything, so I'm a little faster, since I talk too much. Okay, so I roll it, then we're gonna put it inside, and I'm gonna garnish it. Ta, ta, ta. It feels like in Shakespeare. This is a beautiful venue. Babis and the guys, they are doing every year better and better. Okay. You know, talking about the amount of the detail, I believe people should always recognize your design. So if you're looking at this, the stand is actually made from the same wood like our back bar. It is painted in the same color. It has the same grain of the wood. I think all of these things are really important. We get it inside. Now the flower action. Don't bring flowers from London like I did. They travel terrible. So the idea is the moment we get the order, the barback starts to prepare everything, and then we are done right away. Very easy to execute. Every design should be first of all functional. It should be easy to make. And I think we are done. We are looking for a beautiful lady who I can serve the cocktail. And we haven't, talking about things which really work, we didn't forget about the people who are standing at the bar counter. Because I would hate myself to be holding this whole thing. So you have the stand, but we didn't fix it. You can still be quite cool. Who's going to have this one? Perfect. I said I'm looking for beautiful girls. Send it over, guys. Perfect, thank you. So this is the DigiDiva. The DigiDiva is kind of a funny name because DigiDiva is a young London girl who is addicted to social media. She doesn't hesitate to unplug a DJ at a party if it means she can unplug her phone. She typically, if she has a sister, the sister is called eBabe, and the way how to recognize the sister is that she has less followers on both Twitter and Instagram. I like funny names. And that's the recipe. And talking about functionality, obviously, how do you wash this thing? So we had to install like a high-pressure steamer. We had to develop a drying racks for the glass because it must work. The easiest recommendation, if you're ever thinking how to develop your own design, is to take an everyday object and then try to see how many functions you can come up with, what you can do with it. Can you make a stand for the phone? Can you make a jewelry? Can you make a book folder? Or are you going to separate your cables? And then you simply sit and think about how fluent, original, flexible it was, how many areas you could cover, how difficult it was. It's a very good exercise for anybody who designs anything. Even just a basic bar tools. You'll be surprised how much you can come up with. Great team exercise. I highly recommend that. Most important thing, because we work in the bar business, is to make things smashable. If you break a bottle of Coca-Cola, everybody in the room can tell that this is a bottle of Coke. So if you create your cocktails or your products, even if you break them, people need to realize it comes from my bar, it comes from Artesian. So if you always do what you always did, you will always get what you always got. And the message is very simple. The moment when we are finished here today, you get up out of these chairs, and when you leave, do things different. Because the beautiful thing about our industry is that there's nothing written in the stones. There's no rules of how to do this or how to do that. As long as you can justify things, as long as everything has a reason, then it's your original creation. Make it yourself, conceptualize it. And when you do it, make it with passion. Because lack of passion is fatal. If you don't like what you do, fuck it. Go somewhere else. Find what you love. Because the moment you found things which you love, the moment you find the job of your dreams, and I found it, the moment you get that, you can practice it, and maybe after years, you will become best in the world. Thank you so much. Ευχαριστώ πάρα πολύ.